see. Oh, I got a little girl who's been waiting. Promised that she'd marry Mr. Can we leave that seat? I'll shovel coal, Lord, to pay my fare. Gotta get this train down to the station.
You telling everybody good morning? You telling everybody welcome to Appalachia's Homestead? Oh, you're so handsome. You are so handsome. Yeah.
My one true love, waiting at a seat. Want that low train to carry me back. Around 7. Oh Lord, they hit Louisville about 9. That poor boy's heart started overheating, sending all of his love on down. For the night is dark and Lord is quiet. I've been traveling this lonesome road. I want true love waiting at sea. Oh, that long old train back.
Do you do the same thing? I can't stand when things get like really, really low. I've got like 3 packages. I just sort of slam them all together. I think this is my favorite coffee. Now, Krispy Kreme is my favorite donut. I'm trying this new flavor. It's okay. It really doesn't taste like a hot, fresh donut. So, I am running around the kitchen. My lazy Susan is open. That's like letting your bloomers fly up. So, we're starting to get to the end of bottle feeding these babies. Oh, I'm making progress, people. Looky here, looky here. But we are almost at the end of bottle feeding all those babies up in the barn. And we've got about another week to go. So I've got to make milk bottles for them and for a little bit. A little bit still down here hanging out for a little bit. But doing laundry. A lot of washing going on around here today. And speaking of wash, I'm going to answer your question. So, as I am about to film this video, I wanted to show you what typically your farm egg looks like in the wintertime. Now, unless you have absolutely just put in a fresh big plop of pine shavings into your nesting box, and that hen just hasn't happened to be outside in all the mud and the muck and the snow and the ice yet, and she goes in and she lays an egg, and then all the others that follow her have also not been out in the rain and the mud and the muck and everything else, your eggs really will look like and can look like and should look like something off of Pinterest or Instagram. You know, all those beautiful, beautiful eggs you see that just look like little diamonds in the sky. Well, it's because we wash them. And a lot of the time that you see these eggs on all of these pictures, guys, they've been washed. Because the reality is, have you seen what a chicken steps in and pecks through and what they eat and all they do all day? You'd have a different perspective if you lived on a homestead all the time, because you'd be like, oh, that's what they do. But my point is people are asking me, why do I wash my eggs? They didn't know you should wash your eggs. Isn't that a big boo-boo? Isn't that a big no-no? No. So let's talk about it. Look at that. Plum broke it. Plum broke it. So this is my egg collection from yesterday, and to be honest with you, with the incredible weather the country is seeing, this is really, really good for February. They're coming back. But look at all the mud. Folks, that's not poop. That's straight up now tell me. That's mud because it's very, very muddy outside. And I am right now putting fresh pine shavings every day to every other day in my nesting boxes. But when you have hens all going in and out of the run and going in and out, and they've got mud on their feet because they scratch when they get into the nesting boxes and they settle down or they move other eggs around, this is what happens. So do I wash my eggs? You better bet I do. Woo! Girl. Honey. It's all gone, baby. It's all gone, but it's good. Okay, so we had to have a commercial break there. You hear all that? Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. We're going to have that basement done in no time. But let's talk about washing eggs. What do I do? What can you do? What's the big deal? Hey, it's your world. You got to do what works best for you. So here's the bottom line. When an egg is laid by a hen, and she puts it right down wherever she chooses to, because Lord knows they choose wherever they want to lay eggs. But the point is, it is wet. If you've ever seen it freshly laid, you're going to see it's wet. Why? Very simple. The hen puts an automatic safety barrier on every egg that she lays. It's called a bloom or a cuticle. And what that does is that seals in the exterior shell of the egg. Eggs are very, very porous. You don't see that, but they are. So when you have that cuticle on there and it dries very quickly. So anything that's, if she lays an egg on the ground and it gets on a leaf or on pine shavings or whatever's going on, it'll stick to the egg because it sticks to that wet stuff, the cuticle, the bloom. But it'll dry. It dries very quickly. And nonetheless, that protects the egg. So the issue is when you wash an egg, you're not just washing away mud or debris, and that is, trust me when I tell you, that's mud, but you're also washing away the cuticle. And once you wash away that magical bloom, that's when your situation changes with your egg, okay? That is when your aging process really truly starts to, speed up in terms of the aging of the egg, because you don't want bacteria inside of there. That's how the mama naturally protects her babies. Oh my goodness. So here's the bottom line. I wash my eggs with a very mild, just basic soap. I used Dr. Bronner's, and this time I used a little bit of Meyer's. I put the eggs in a clean dish in the sink, and I fill it with a very lukewarm water, just barely warm. Put a little dash of soap in there, just kind of work them over, let them get nice and wet, and then I take a washcloth and I just gently wash them off, and I let them dry on the countertop. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, I thought you could hear me a little bit better out here, and it feels kind of good out here in this cold weather. But the bottom line is you do not have to wash your eggs. Mine sit on the countertop, and I rotate them as far as selling them every week or two so they stay fresh. I always like to either sell my eggs, eat my eggs, reuse my eggs, whatnot, within 30 days. Now, when you wash your eggs, like I said before, and you take off that magic cuticle, that bloom that's on the egg, you're on a countdown. The thing you need to know the most is once you wash an egg and you remove the bloom, you must then refrigerate your eggs. I tell my customers when they buy my eggs, they have been freshly washed that day. They've been put in clean, fresh new cartons. They've been placed in a cooler. We have our exchange. They buy my eggs. I take their little bit of money and they take my little bit of eggs, and everybody's happy. And I tell them you would be best to consume them within 2 weeks if you can, because I want you to be safe. They're safe, and put them straight in the refrigerator when you get home. So washing your eggs, if you are a farmer and you have your own chickens at home, is optional. I don't wash my eggs. I might wash them off real quick before I crack them open. It's probably a smart thing to do so you don't have mud or anything else fall into. Good morning. That you don't have them fall into with all the rest of your cake or your yolk or whatever. But as far as keeping them, That is the rule of thumb. If I were not selling my eggs and I kept my eggs, I would keep them up to 30 days on my counter. If you wash them, put them in the refrigerator, and I like to consume mine within 2 weeks. Again, it's just to keep you safe. So that's the download and the upload and the folding and the drying and all the ins and outs of washing your eggs. So up here, if I can move this old window, these turkey eggs are gonna make my point. That Blanche, she's so trifling. Look at this girl. Okay, so you can see I have 3 beautiful eggs from the past, from today, yesterday, and the day before. Turkey eggs. So she's the only one that's coming over here laying in the hay. This is very dry, very clean. There's no other girls coming over and laying. She's not really in the mud because she's in the barn, so she's not out in the mud. And you can see, for the most part, how clean this egg is. So when you have hens going in and out of a run, in and out of an outside area, they're scratching and scratching and scratching like chickens do, then coming into a nesting box and they fight and squabble and do all the things that they do, your eggs tend to get a little dirty. But you can see that in a fresh situation, a really dry situation, fresh bedding situation, less bird situation, and really frankly guys, most of the time they're really clean in the late spring, summer, and fall because it's more dry here in East Tennessee. But when the weather is frightful outside and very wet and very muddy, and they have access to that, your eggs are also going to be a little muddy. Looks like I can have a nice turkey omelet, my goodness. So you can also see that Miss Blanche has worked out her oddity. If you saw a couple of videos ago, she had a really weird little, I called it a fairy egg for a turkey, definitely was. And then she had a soft shell egg, actually she had 2. And now she's doing good. So, and I know this is for real, hers. Guys, we appreciate you watching. Listen to them babies in there. It's always something. More babies to feed, more wash to do. Guys, we'll see you on the next video.